Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We are gonna be continuing the For Honor combat system. This is gonna be part 3. Before we start, I want to say thanks to all of my subscribers, which is currently over 100. It's like 110 or something, so we are over the 100 mark, which is super cool. Huge, big deal for me. So thanks all of you, and also if you are watching this and aren't already subscribing, please subscribe to my channel because it makes me super happy. Anyway, let's get into the video. I know I told everyone I was about to start the directional attack thing system in this video. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna start by doing a targeting system because I feel like if we're gonna do the directional attacks, we need something to hit. So I've just set up basic AI and a targeting system. So let me show you what we got so far. So here we have our player. Also, I swapped around the sockets for the sword. As you can see, I'm holding it in my hand like the Warden class in For Honor. I think it's Warden. And when we do the targets, we bring it up to our hands. The stance, and we get a target circle around the target, and we can also stop. And once again, the target, as you can see, it works on the client as well. It's replicated as always. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We're gonna set this up. Also, I'm pretty happy with this system, to be honest. I've been trying to do a smooth, good looking working targeting system for a while in multiplayer, and I finally got it to work, so I'm gonna show you how that is done basically. So first, what we need first is the AI class. So go into your whatever folder you want to, and just copy this one, right click, blueprint class, and then a new character. Mine is called master_AI. You can call yours whatever you want to. I'm always a fan of using a master class first, and then you can do like child enemies with different things on them. But I'm just gonna use the master one for this tutorial. So if you go into your master AI, you can see that I have a mesh set up. And basically what I've done is I've grabbed a skeletal mesh from the marketplace, right click, skeleton, assign skeleton, and I have just assigned the same skeleton that we are using for the player character, so it's gonna be the same. Then I just went into the AI and assigned that skeleton here, so just drag it in like that. And for the animation blueprint, I just copied the player animation blueprint and renamed it Master Enemy Anim Blueprint. I'm gonna switch some animations for that later, so the AI is gonna have different animations than the player, but right now they are acting the same. And also I added a decal. Named it target_decal. And as you can see, it's on the foot of my character, and it's pretty easy to set up. It's just a circular image I grabbed from Google, or from some free image site. Just Google's vector circle transparent background or something, and you will find something like it, and just import it. Then right click, create a new material. Mine is called decal_material, m_decal. Select this one and use a deferred decal, and for the texture, and just add a texture sample and assign your image as the texture sample, and the RGB to base color and RGBA to opacity. Super easy. Then on the decal on your AI, just assign the material that we just created. Also, you probably need to switch this around. I think it starts in, I think this is the default direction, and as you can see, it's not really looking great in that case. So yeah, just rotate it around until you find until you find the right position. There we go. Perfect. That's pretty much it for the AI for now. We're obviously gonna add movement and combat abilities to the AI later as well. That's about it. Also, in the beginning of this tutorial series, I told you I would do everything with you guys, but I had a lot of trouble setting this up. I started recording the video, and then I got lost, and it turns out I had completely misunderstood how to replicate rotation, actually, to be honest. So it took me a while to figure out how to do it, but I'm gonna walk you through it. So this is all the same, almost like it was before. I'm gonna show you what I have added. First, I made a function called find closest player, find closest enemy. It's supposed to be called. We can delete this because we're not using it. We can also delete this. So it's just a custom event, not replicated or anything, and I created a variable called closest enemy distance, and it's 15,000. So this is going to be the max distance that we can actually target enemies. So you can obviously lower this a lot if you want to. And then I get all actors of class, and for the class I use the master AI that we just created. Then we do a for each loop, and the actor array is gonna be the master AI. And then we want to compare the distance from all of the AI in the array to ourselves. So just drag from array element, get distance 2, and for the other actor is self. So this will give us a return value of the distance between the all of the AIs in the level and ourselves. And if one of these are closer than closest enemy distance, which is this, so just compare float minus float, or not minus, lesser than, then we add a branch. So if one of the actors in this array is closer than the closest enemy distance, then we set the closest enemy distance to that new distance, that new closer distance than the previous closest enemy distance. And then we're also gonna set the closest enemy, which is a variable that I created. So it's just a variable of the master AI. And so we're gonna set it to the array element that belongs to this variable, basically. Perfect. And also in our AI, the call is by default not visible. So turn visibility off on that one. And from this master AI, drag out and get target decal. It's somewhere here. Get target decal. And set visibility to true, new visibility. Before I set the visibility to true, I need to remove all other. I need to remove the visibility of all other decals, because so I can't have more than one enemy targeted at the same time. So this is also just a custom event, not replicated or anything. Do the same thing here. All actors from class master AI for each loop, for each element, grab the target decal and set all of them to not visible. And call that function before we set the new visibility of the targeted one. Perfect. So that's fairly easy. Now we get into the good stuff, which took me some time to figure out. And that is we want to rotate our player towards the targeted AI. And yeah, so these two functions are done. I showed you them. We are gonna create a new function called rotate to target. Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. It's just me getting confused by myself here. So what you want to do so in this find closest enemy, we call this remove decals and we set the visibility of the targeted of the closest enemy. So that's one's gonna be the targeted one. And from our previous you had this before from the last tutorial basically, which is the combat mode and the not combat mode. So after this one, we are gonna call. So after we switch the weapon to the hand, we are gonna call the function find closest enemy, which is gonna target the closest enemy. Don't worry about this, I will show you this one very soon. And when we exit combat mode, we want to remove all target decals, which is this one that we just set up. So then you remove all target decals. And then we need one more function, which is going to be the rotating towards player or the target. And I just made a new event called custom tick. You could obviously do this on the event tick as well. I don't like doing the event tick. I think it's better to not use the tick, because then you can actually you can try yourself how much you want to update it. I'll find 0.01 seconds to be fine, but yeah, you could do this on the event tick as well. It's not going to slow down the performance that much if you're not doing a lot of stuff on the event tick, and I'm usually not doing a lot of stuff on the event tick, so it should be fine, but I prefer to do my own tick. So custom tick, it's just a custom event called custom tick. From it, I start by checking if combat mode is true, which means that if we are targeting an enemy, combat mode is true. And I have an input of an actor, so we're just checking if the closest enemy in this case, if the closest enemy is valid. So grab an is valid node and just drag it in here so you have a target. Perfect. And what you want to do is you want to get controller, and then you want to set the control rotation. And this is what got me, because I've been trying to replicate set actor. I've been trying to replicate this one, set actor rotation, for like forever, for like half a year or something. I've been on and off trying to make a good targeting system with this one, but it's completely pointless because set control rotation is replicated through the character movement by default. So you don't actually need to replicate this at all, since the character movement is replicated. So that was like the biggest light bulb ever over my head when I found that out. So that's why this is the only reason why this is working. So this kind of revolutionized my life. So set control rotation, and we want to set the control rotation with this. So from this input, we have the closest player, closest enemy, when we call the function. So get from there, from the target, get actor location, which is going to be the closest enemy. You also want to get your own actor location. And you want to get your own actor rotation, and you want to get your own actor rotation twice, because we are going to use a rinterp to make it rotate smoothly. As you can see here, I'm rotating quite smoothly the camera. Otherwise it would just snap into the lock, which doesn't really look good. So that's why we're using the rinterp. So from get actor rotation, rinterp 2, rinterp 2, and the rinterp 2 node looks like this. So what you want to do is, for the target, you want to split struct pin so that you get these different values. And for the roll and pitch, the X and Y, you want to get your own rotation. Get actor rotation. Looks like this. And you want to split this one as well. And you want to plug in the roll and the pitch from this one. And for the C, the yaw, you want to get the actor location from the closest enemy, and you want to get your own location, and then you want to find look at rotation, and then you want to plug that one in, and you want to split this one as well, because now we are only using the yaw. Bam. And for the delta time, we are using world delta seconds. If you are using event tick, you could just plug the delta seconds in. It's the same, so it doesn't really matter. And for the interpolation speed, you just have to try different stuff out. I found that 5 is smooth enough for me. Higher value will give you a faster rotation, unless it's 0, because 0 will snap. So let me just show you how it would look without the rinterp. Oops, not simulation. Sorry about that. Don't want to simulate. So as you can see, it's snapping. It's not really nice. So that's why 5 worked for me. You can do, yeah, you have to try it out. As you can see, we get some smooth rotation there. And then, since we are not using the event tick, I'm using my own custom tick. I need to remake this function every 0.01 seconds. Also, as I said, the more often you do this, the heavier it's gonna be. So you could, but I found this being good. It's not really very, this is fine to do. It's not that heavy. And just go back to the beginning branch if you're in combat mode. So as soon as we quit combat mode, this will return false. So then we will stop updating this. This is also why this one is nicer than event tick, because event tick is always going to be there in the background. If you're just doing event tick and then a branch, it's going to constantly check that branch. But now it's not doing that, because I'm pretty much canceling this function whenever I exit combat mode, and this won't be called anymore. So this will only be updated when we are in combat mode. Yeah, and then we go back to our combat mode function. So after we find the closest enemy, we call the custom tick, plug in closest enemy to the target, which is here. Actually, let's name this closest enemy, just to avoid confusion in the future. And we can see that we have plugged in our closest enemy. That should actually be it. Let me just see if I forgot something. It should be exactly the same as in my last videos. I changed the values a little bit for 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 the meshes when I swap weapons and stuff like that, but otherwise I think everything's gonna be alright. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Turns out it was super simple. As I said before, I have been trying to do this for a long time, so I'm super happy that I finally got it to work. And just to make sure, I haven't actually tried this out, so let's see if it's actually working with multiple enemies. Just to make sure. That's the closest enemy right now, and this is the closest enemy right now. So we should probably do like a switch target function later, but this is fine for now, I guess. We're just gonna target the closest enemy, and if you want to switch target, just go on to another one and retarget. Make sure it works on the client, and it works on the client. Pretty nice. So as always, let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I promise that next video we are gonna do the directional attacks. I just wanted to get this over with because I'm so happy that I actually made it work. So anyway, yep, let me know if there's any questions, and please subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Have a good evening.